Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into an absolute classic from the Women's College World Series, a nail-biting 5-4 semifinal clash between the Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Alabama Crimson Tide. This game was literally a masterclass in playoff execution. We're going to completely dissect exactly how Texas Tech managed to edge out Alabama and secure their spot in the championship series. Okay, let's dive into this. Our game plan today is straightforward. We'll cover the clash for the championship, unravel the hit versus run paradox, analyze the strikeout efficiency battle, break down the decisive clutch scoring plays, and finally, look at zero errors and flawless defense. Starting with Section 1, the clash for the championship. A ticket to the WCWS finals was on the line here. You know, every single pitch matters in a win-or-go-home game under the bright lights of Devon Park. To really understand the intensity here, just look at how the scoring unfolded. It was a total tug-of-war. Alabama and Texas Tech traded punches early, leaving us tied up at 1-1 after the second inning. Then, Texas Tech takes a narrow lead in the third, only for Alabama to answer right back. Boom, tied at 2-2 in the fourth. It wasn't until the fifth inning that Texas Tech finally created a little bit of breathing room, jumping ahead 4-2. But, of course, Alabama wasn't done. They mounted this ferocious two-run rally in the final frame. Texas Tech countered with one vital insurance run of their own in that seventh inning and ultimately survived the slugfest 5-4. But here is the central mystery that we really need to solve today. When you just glance at the raw data, you see this illusion of dominance that absolutely doesn't match the final outcome. Alabama recorded 10 hits in this game. Texas Tech only recorded 8. So think about it. If Alabama consistently got the better of the Texas Tech pitching staff and outhit them, why didn't they win the game? That brings us to Section 2, the hit versus run paradox. Let's look closely at this box score anomaly. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the side-by-side comparison of the raw offensive output, because a true paradox emerges. Alabama generated 10 hits but only scored 4 runs. Meanwhile, Texas Tech generated just 8 hits, yet they crossed the plate 5 times. Both pitching staffs officially allowed 4 earned runs, but somehow Texas Tech squeezed out that vital 5th run despite having a lower hit volume overall. Alabama's 10 hits definitely proved they had absolutely no issue putting runners on the base paths. But the hidden story here? Stranded runners. Getting on base doesn't equal winning if you can't bring them home. Despite being out-hit, Texas Tech was simply way more efficient at linking their offense together at the exact right moments. Let's shift our focus to Section 3, the strikeout efficiency battle, the action in the pitcher's circle. Let's objectively compare these two pitching staffs. Alabama's Jocelyn Brisky and Vic Moten were incredibly effective at missing bats. They struck out 8 Texas Tech batters on just 102 total pitches. Conversely, Texas Tech's duo of Caitlin Terry and Nijeri Kennedy had to work a lot harder. They threw 127 pitches for 7 strikeouts. So Alabama clearly got more Ks on fewer pitches. But notice the walks. Alabama issued 2, while Texas Tech issued 0. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how Texas Tech compensated for allowing those 10 hits. 0, Caitlin Terry and Nijeri Kennedy didn't give away a single free pass in a pressure cooker semifinal. When they did give up hits, they completely refused to compound the damage with free runners. They literally forced Alabama to earn every single inch. Maintaining that kind of command over 127 pitches is just extraordinary. Out of those 127 pitches thrown by Carey and Kennedy, a staggering 92 were strikes, compared to just 35 balls. That is a 72.4% strike rate. That relentless zone pounding meant they were never pitching from behind and never putting themselves in a position to accidentally walk in a run. Moving on to Section 4, decisive clutch scoring plays. It's all about making the hits count. In a game this unbelievably tight, you need your stars to step up. And we had a phenomenal offensive duel here. For Texas Tech, Taylor Pennell was absolutely massive, driving in 2 of her team's 5 runs. On the other side, Gina Young matched her swing for swing, bringing in 2 runs for the Crimson Tide. When the bases were occupied, these 2 players absolutely delivered the most critical blows of the night. But remember, Texas Tech scored 5 runs total, and it took a complete team effort to get across that finish line. Beyond Pannell, Mia Williams and Lauren Allred both capitalized, each turning a hit into a really crucial RBI. Haley Toney was also a constant threat, collecting 2 hits and driving in a run of her own. Everyone in that lineup just smoothly passed the baton. Now, Alabama's lineup was also incredibly dangerous from top to bottom, which is exactly how they stayed in it until the final out. Adding to Gina Young's production, Marlee Giles was a powerhouse at the plate with 2 hits and an RBI. Audrey Vandegrift also stepped into the box and successfully drove a run in. Both offenses executed their game plans beautifully, but the margins, they were just incredibly thin. Which leads us to our final section. 0 errors, flawless defense, winning on the hidden margins. So, the crucial point is 0. And that's not just for one team. This 0 represents the total number of errors committed by both teams combined. In a massive semifinal match with literally everything on the line, neither Texas Tech nor Alabama made a single defensive mistake in the field. This level of absolute perfect fielding is exactly what prevented those high-scoring, multi-run rallies that usually break playoff games wide open. Think about it. With 0 errors across the board and Texas Tech issuing 0 walks, neither team was giving away extra outs or free bases. Every single one of those 9 combined runs had to be purely earned by the hitter, cleanly beating the pitcher and the defense. It was just a breathtaking display of fundamentals under massive pressure. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this question to think about. In a game defined by flawless, 0-error defense and absolutely 0 walks from the winning pitching staff, does efficiency ultimately conquer pure hitting volume in championship softball? Alabama brought the sheer volume with 10 hits, but Texas Tech brought the pinpoint efficiency, and it earned them a trip to the finals. It really makes you appreciate the intricate mechanics of playoff softball, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me to break down this incredible game. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I will see you next time.